computer that I had already set up with. No, I was on a different computer earlier today, so, and I've just continued. There we are. No, he is not. Yeah. We're all here and we can start in just a moment. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Everybody got your microphones on? Good evening. Let's go ahead and get the Los Ranchos de Albuquerque Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for February 10th, 2026, call to order. We will start with a roll call. Commissioner Bayless.
Present.
Commissioner Chivington.
Present.
Commissioner Dren.
Present.
Commissioner Haywood.
Yes.
Commissioner Martinez cannot join us tonight. Commissioner Teglia-Petra.
Present.
And Commissioner Homan is here. Let the record show that we've only got one commissioner missing, and we'll move on to the approval of the agenda.
I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
And then we'll go on to Director Schultz. I think you have an amendment.
Madam Chair, there has been a request for deferral on the lone item on tonight's agenda. I would suggest, especially because we have speakers signed up for that agenda item, that we do not defer it now. We move to that agenda item, open it up formally, hear public comment, and then if it's the will of this commission, proceed with a deferral, which I would also be recommending.
Okay, so we'll continue with the motion and the second as it is presented. This is a roll call vote. Commissioner Bayless.
Yes.
Commissioner Chivington.
Yes.
Commissioner Dren.
Yes.
Commissioner Haywood.
Yes.
Commissioner Martinez is gone. Commissioner Teglia-Petra.
Yes.
And Commissioner Homan, yes. Let the record show that the agenda has been approved. We will move to public comment. Residents may address the Planning and Zoning Commission to comment on issues, problems, or successes on topics that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. Audience members will be given an opportunity to comment on agenda items as they come up. Speakers must have registered with the village staff prior to the beginning of the meeting, and I believe we have one person. Director Schultz, will you be able, when the time comes, to swear everybody in that's needed?
Madam Chair, yes, I'm able to do that.
Okay, so in the meantime, we'll go ahead and call Mr. Sanchez to the podium for his public comment.
Good evening. Vincent Sanchez, 6802 Rio Grande. In my memory, I have heard verbal agreements and statements during sworn testimony in P&Z meetings in the past that have not been fulfilled, which leads me to my request for clarity. What is the authority of the village to enforce verbal agreements during the quasi-judicial proceedings if the agreement is not met in the future? What is the protocol for past decisions made by the Zoning Commission where subjective reasoning was used to grant something that was in actuality in direct conflict with zoning code? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. For those new on the commission, we do not address the issues as they're brought up directly like that. We will allow our planning and zoning director to address them.
Madam Chair, I can respond to that testimony. This question has been asked recently at both Planning and Zoning Commission and the Board of Trustee level hearings. Verbal testimony is not a legal commitment. If this board or the Board of Trustees wants to commit an applicant to an action, that needs to be done through either a finding or a condition. That's why the findings and conditions are so important for us to think through. If someone simply says that they're going to do something, but then we don't legally require them to do it through a finding or condition, the village does not have a way to enforce that. I think that answers the question.
All right, and for the general public, as well as our own staff, when we see something that is outside of what the agreed upon, or at least our understanding of what was agreed upon, they should bring that issue to you, correct? Or to staff members, and let you guys address it, correct?
Madam Chair, that is correct. When it comes to these planning and zoning items, that's when I have the opportunity to draft a finding or condition for this body to consider, and that's really how the village can hold an applicant's feet to the fire, per se. A quick example, during the plat discussion last week, there was a lot of discussion about an irrigation easement, and there was some confusion about where it was or where it wasn't going. And the applicant said, oh yeah, we will fix that. Kind of on the fly, I proposed a condition to this body that said, well, before your next iteration, you will address that irrigation easement issue. Absent that condition, the village wouldn't really have a way to enforce that. So I try to catch things as I hear them in conversation for things that the village certainly does want to fully enforce. But that has not always been the practice at the village, from my understanding.
Do we send out our code enforcement to do the inspection, or do you physically take it on, or is it combinations depending upon?
Madam Chair, inspection authority is kind of a combination of folks. It will be the code enforcement officer first and foremost. So if someone comes in for a request for a variance to build their shed 5 feet closer than it's supposed to be built, our code enforcement officer can go out with his measurer and make sure that it's built where it was supposed to be built. For more technical inspections, we rely on Bernalillo County, but for zoning matters, that is within the code enforcement department. I'm technically the chief code enforcement officer, but I delegate those duties to our staff member who does those inspections routinely. And we always inspect it, especially in the instance where there's a complaint or an inquiry. We will definitely send someone out and open up an investigation if that's warranted.
Thank you. Do we have anybody online? No. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless it is brought up before this commission to pull an item off of that consent agenda. We've got one item on this consent agenda today, and that is the approval of the minutes for the January 13th, 2026 regular P&Z meeting. Is there a motion or discussion on corrections?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as is from the January 13th, 2026 regular planning and zoning meeting.
Okay.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, this is a roll call vote. Commissioner Bayless?
Aye.
Commissioner Chevington?
Aye.
Commissioner Duran?
Aye.
Commissioner Haywood?
Yes.
Commissioner Tagliapetra?
Yes.
And Commissioner Homan, yes. Okay. Let the record show the consent agenda has been passed. Now we're on to the public hearings and applications. We have already heard we will probably have a deferral. Do you want to address the deferral first?
Madam Chair, we should run through the swearing in first, and then we can move to the item and formally get it on the floor for discussion.
Okay.
So I will proceed with swearing you in. Do you swear under penalty of perjury to tell the truth in your testimony this evening? Great, thank you. Madam Chair, would you like me to review S2601? S2601 is an application from Palindrome Communities for a final plat. I sent to this body and put on the village website last week a request for deferral on this item. There's a member of their team that has experienced a death in the family and is unable to be at the meeting tonight because of that. The implication of that is this body would move that item to next month's meeting, a 1-month deferral, so that the applicant's team could be here to present the case. Madam Chair, I'll leave it up to this commission if they want me to get into the merits of the case now, or save that for next month since you won't be voting substantively on the item tonight. I would typically not review the case in total, but if it's the will of this body, I can.
Well, I have one question. If we allow the public comment tonight, then the palindrome folks will not hear those comments and be able to address those concerns.
Madam Chair, that's a great question. It is the responsibility of the applicant to be aware of an agenda in which they are placed. I think Palindrome knows that they are on the agenda tonight. They know that a deferral is not guaranteed. And so they have a couple avenues. One, they could review the minutes from this meeting. And two, the video gets posted onto YouTube, so they could watch the meeting after the fact to hear any questions from the public or this body.
All right. So with that, I believe we will go ahead and continue with our public comment. Mr. Sanchez, once again, your name and address.
Vincent Sanchez, 6802 Rio Grande. From memory on this particular topic, I thought I remembered that there was supposed to be a median of some type on Osuna and perhaps 4th Street as well, but I know Osuna for sure, that restricted turning and creating a right turn only, I believe, on the exit. But that was only from memory. It was something that occurred to me when I was looking at the agenda today. And I thought I'd ask what was happening because it didn't seem to be on the plat, but sometimes there's a lot to it. So.
Are you referring to ingress, egress from the property itself or?
From the roadway, that's correct. So I believe there was a concern that was increased traffic making right and left turns out of. Like I said, I'm almost positive I remember it on Osuna, but I'm not entirely sure that it was on 4th Street. But I was curious where that went because I felt that that was something that people were, one, concerned about, and two, seemed very logical for some of the traffic problems that would be there. So just a reminder, call it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Schultz, can you address this, please?
I can, yeah. So first, let me kind of set the stage to say that there are two general documents that regulate Palindrome's development. One is the plat, that's the action you're considering tonight. The second is the site plan, and the site plan is not up for discussion tonight. The site plan is approved and done. We are only talking about the plat. When the Board of Trustees approved the site plan in 2024, there was a condition of approval that said they need to develop some kind of traffic control method that would prohibit left turns onto Osuna from the north side of the property. So the public speaker did recall correctly, that was a condition of approval on the site plan, which does not have any implications for the platting action tonight. As a brief update to the commission, planning staff has been working with Palindrome and their engineer on a solution for that. I think we're very close to having something approved that meets the intent of the condition so that they can move to construction, which I would expect to be done in the next several months. So it is in the works, it's just not done yet. A platting action, though, is really just drawing property lines and indicating easements, utility locations, et cetera. It's not about the kind of vertical development on the site. That's really within the site plan. So that element would not be up for discussion on the plat this evening.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the director?
I
Commissioner Bayless?
have a question. Whether or not we defer for tonight, it's going to come up before us at some point. And myself, and I know at least a couple of the other commissioners weren't here way back when the original preliminary plat was approved. In your analysis, you described that the Board of Trustees previously determined that the preliminary plat complied with the provision of the subdivision ordinance. And then you say the final plat reflects no modifications from the approved preliminary plat. I never looked at the preliminary plat, so I would have no way of knowing whether there's been any changes between the preliminary plat and the final plat. Can you make a finding in the record that you, as our zoning administrator, have looked at the final plat and indeed there are no changes between the final plat and the preliminary plat? Otherwise, there's no factual underpinning for my deciding whether or not this is an appropriate thing to do.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Bayless, yes, I can add a little bit more analysis to my staff report prior to your next meeting and a finding that gets to that point.
That was my only question. So whenever we vote on it, I would like to have that finding in the record.
All right. Any other comments? Okay. There is a desire from the applicant to defer for tonight due to, you know, those, the inability for their whole team to be here due to the family death. What is the will of the commission on this matter?
Do we have to have a motion before we discuss?
Yes, we have to have a motion in a second.
I would like to make a motion to defer S 26-10 to our March 10th, 2026 Planning and Zoning meeting.
Thank you. Commissioner, I'll clarify that you said S 2610.
01.
S 26-01 for the record. You transposed two numbers, that's all.
I did my numbers backwards, sorry.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Yeah,
Any
I'll-
discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the roll call vote. Commissioner Bates,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivington,
Yes.
Commissioner Duran,
Yes.
Commissioner Haywood,
Yes.
Commissioner Tagliapetra,
Yes,
and Commissioner Homan, yes. Let the record show that item S 2601 has been deferred to our next meeting. Okay? Next on our agenda is old business, which there is none. Following that is new business, which there is none. And the final and last thing would be the adjournment for this evening. Is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? No? Okay, once again, roll call. Commissioner Bayless,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivington,
Aye.
Commissioner Duran,
Yes.
Commissioner Haywood,
Yes.
Commissioner Tagliapetra,
Yes.
and Commissioner Homan. Let the record show that indeed we've all agreed to adjourn the meeting for this evening. And it looks like it is 6:19.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll see you next month.
Thank you for coming.
They don't all go this quick, do they?
This is the exception to the rule.
But you know what? It's so much better when I was a trustee, when I first took trustee position.
There was some-
We met twice a month to begin with, instead of just the once. And there were days we were out of here at almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I mean, there was some back during the contentious times. We were here till 11:30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's,
that's in this commission, yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is, Thank you.
You bet.
Nice seeing everybody. It was short and brief.
Yes,
Happy Valentine's Day.
yeah, it'll be my anniversary.
Yeah. Is your anniversary?
28 years.